So it's like the way he was able to kind of get me to bond with the guys on the team before I even committed to Augustana was a sign to me that he actually cared and would really go out of the way to make sure that I was happy where I was. And I wasn't, like you said, just another number. Like I'm a real person. And I feel that like he connects with people in ways that other coaches didn't really, to me. That's why I'm here.
Welcome to the Recruiting Assist, brought to you by Net Results Recruiting. My name is Matt Bright, Regional Director of Recruiting for Net Results, located in St. Louis, Missouri. Joining me, as always, our president and founder in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, Steve Schaefer. What's going on, Coacher?
Coach, how are we doing tonight?
Super excited. We got big time guests tonight. Big time guests tonight.
We do. I just was talking about this off air. This is we've done a lot of podcasts together, Coach, and I've never been more excited about having one of these than tonight, because we've got two players on that we've worked with, that we helped through their process, and now they're flourishing at the college level. And what better people to have on talking about the process, talking about college basketball, than the actual players themselves. So really, really excited to have Jack Prunty and Easton Reagan on tonight. Coach, I'll let you introduce Jack, and then I'll introduce Easton.
Okay, so Jack, I started working with Jack when he was a sophomore, weighing about $140. Anyway,
what do you weigh now, Jack? What do you weigh now, Jack?
175, 180.
There you go.
And he is a legit 180. He's dedicated himself in the weight room, and working with him throughout 3 years of high school, and now his success, translating to college level. He is a tremendous worker. No one could take that away from him. He has transformed his game, and his body, his playing ability. And one thing that we do that he really took to was taking critical feedback, because we had our first workout and I put him through some paces, and he got exposed of things that were lacking in his game, and he worked at those. And now, as you said, he's playing at Augustana College. I'm not putting the in front of it, but Coach Schaefer's alma mater. Great school, great basketball tradition. And we're super excited to see him, what he's got in store for him over the next 4 years in college. So, Jack, thanks for joining us tonight from Marquette High School here in St. Louis.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and our other guest, Easton Reagan. I've been doing this now 4 years, and I love all my players I've worked with, but I tell you right now, my all-time favorite guy is Easton. He knows that. He was my first ever client, which makes him one of my all-time favorites just off that. But I've gotten close to him. I've gotten really close to his family. Easton comes from Scottsdale, Arizona, Desert Mountain High School. Enjoyed a tremendous high school career, all conference, all everything. One of the best players in the Valley, highly recruited kid. Ended up, choosing the Division II level, Northwest Nazarene, and he's doing just a heck of a job up there. I'm excited. I'm actually going up to see him play next month. Up in Idaho, which I'm fired up to do. But Easton's journey was great. It was he had a lot of options, but he embraced this process during COVID, when that COVID year, ruling was going on. He dealt with that. He embraced the process. He stayed engaged. He was proactive, and he found a great home. And he's stayed at the same place for the last 4 years. He's flourishing, and he's going to graduate this spring. And just excited for him and his journey, and it's been fun to follow it. So, Easton, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so we'll start. I'll change up. Easton, I'll go with you. When did you start really thinking about college basketball as a possibility for you?
I'm gonna say honestly, when I got to high school, really just being around some of my teammates then, and just being able to play up to their level, and just getting the confidence, and just knowing hearing people's stories. My dad was a college athlete, and he always told me, you're gonna have to work hard. And once I started figuring that out, I knew I could get myself there.
Great. Jack, same to you. When did you realize college basketball was a possibility?
I'd say probably around when we first got in touch, so my sophomore year. My dad also played in college, played at WashU, And so he knew what it took to get to that level. Like Easton said, hard work, lots of hours in the gym. And he was there with me through most of it. So he'd tell me when I wasn't going hard enough and all that stuff, just because, I mean, he knows what it takes because he played there. So when I asked him, I was like, be real with me. Like, do you think I could play in college? He was like, I do if you work hard enough. And so we got in the gym, and here we are.
Yep. And I think he cursed me for having to rebound for you every morning at 5 a.m. For all those
Maybe,
times. But that's all
maybe.
right. But because that, like, putting in the work, I mean, you played multiple sports as well. So you were getting shots in before school, so you go to football practice after school.
Right.
So.
That's right. That's right.
Easton, I mean, you dealt with that COVID year, which was tough. I mean, all those kids that were able to come back and play an additional year. What were some of the other big challenges you felt like you faced during the recruiting process when you were coming, out of high school?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, like the COVID year was very hard on the recruiting process. Like some of the schools, they would take less guys because they weren't sure about other guys coming back and those decisions. So it was kind of hard. That's why I kind of waited in my recruiting process till like I was done with school. And it was kind of like that spring of my senior year, because I was kind of just trying to take my time and figure out like, I got to find a place that I could actually grow and fit in. I'm not just going to be another number. And so yeah, I mean that was definitely one of the more difficult things. And then obviously is like finding a school that really wants you. I mean, there's a lot of people who they'll give you one phone call and they might just be like faking it. So, finding somebody that actually is very genuine with what they want to do and who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jack, how about you?
I'd say it's huge to like identify the efforts that coaches make. Like Easton said, like they might give you one call or they might text you once a month. And like for me personally, I had Coach Delp reaching out to me multiple times a week. He'd come to my games. He'd interact with me after the games. He'd give me feedback after the games, and he'd invite me up to campus for games, let me know the schedule. And after the games, he'd come up and find me in the stands, tell me to get in the locker room, go get with the guys in the team. So it's like the way he was able to kind of get me to bond with the guys on the team before I even committed to Augustana was a sign to me that he actually cared and would really go out of the way to make sure that I was happy where I was. And I wasn't, like he said, just another number. Like I'm a real person. I feel that like he connects with people in ways that other coaches didn't really to me. And that's why I'm here.
That's great. Great.
So part of our process is your priorities of what's important to you. So Jack, like thinking back on those, and I know we had that discussion, what was important to you? What ended up being the deciding factor? I think you already spilled the beans on what your answer is, but what were the big deciding factors in you of choosing Augie when it came time?
So for me, like I said, the family aspect of it for me was a huge one. I wanted to go to a place where I could connect with the guys and we could instantly become family. And once I got on campus, I felt that immediately. Like another one, like I said, is when the coaches strive to actually coach you. Like they're not just like you're making mistakes, they're just letting it fly. They're pulling you to the side, they're telling you what you can do better, they're telling you what you did well to reinforce it. All that stuff is huge, and I'm getting it all here, and that's what I'd look for in the process of choosing a home. And asking questions. If you ask questions like that to the coaches and ask them like, where do you see me fitting in? What do you think my role is? And the answers that they give you, you can take those and you can really you can understand if they're giving you a genuine answer or if they're just responding to your question. Like there is a difference, and you can tell when you get that answer.
Easton, what about you? What were deciding factors in choosing your school?
Yeah, I actually have a couple. So first one I would say is kind of similar to his. Like when I came on my visit here, like everyone was just so genuine and like all the guys like made me feel included. Like I wasn't just like there and watching, like I was participating in everything that they did. Made me feel like I was like on the team there at the time. And like they're just walking me through like pretty much like a day in the life really. And another one was like this is a Christian background school, so that was something that was really big for me and my family. So that was another huge thing. And also the last thing was like I had a different head coach my freshman year, but the assistant took over, and I've been with him the last 3 years. They both actually came down and visited me in Arizona, and they were the only coaches that did that. So that was something that was really awesome, and that stood out to me.
That's great. Jack, I'm going to go back to you. There's a lot of misinformation out there. We talk about this on a lot of our podcasts. So much misinformation about the recruiting process and offers and all the social media stuff.
Yeah.
I always use social media to where a lot of the misinformation is that you see. But when you went through this process as a senior in high school, what was the biggest misconception that you thought was true, but you realized kind of later on, like it wasn't true in the recruiting process?
Yeah. So you're right. There are a lot of misconceptions and kind of behind the scenes things people don't really get to see unless you're in the process of being recruited. But I'd say the biggest misconception is that if you don't go D1, you're not a college basketball player. Like there are so many different things people don't know about the Division II level, the Division III level, NAIA, all that. Like it is all so competitive, and I feel like people, if they're not getting looks from high major D1s, they're just like they're not even giving it the time of day. And I feel like if you really care about the sport, like you'll realize, like you'll see, you don't have tunnel vision when you're getting recruited. You'll really look and open your eyes and see the level of play and the IQ and the speed. It's all the same, really. Like, I mean, I'm going against guys in practice every day. Like I got a guy on my team that transferred in from Maryville who's a D2. He redshirted at Maryville. I'm playing against guys who have been on pro teams out of the country already at the D3 level. So I mean, they're like, this is high level basketball at the level I'm at, which is the Division III level. And I feel like the biggest misconception is that if you're not going D1, it's just a cakewalk, which it's not. Like these guys are really physical. They're super skilled. Like come out and watch D3 basketball if you haven't. I mean, you'll see, like it is very, very different from what you think it is.
Great answer. Great answer. Easton, how about you?
Yeah, he kind of took my answer there, but I was gonna give like a little example, like being at the Division II level, we play College of Idaho every year, and their NAIA team, and honestly, they give us one of the best games every year, and it just shows that like every level, it doesn't matter who, where, and when, like anybody can give anyone a game, and it's just like, yeah, this college basketball is something special, and it's not just about the Division I level. I mean, as you know now, like you can eventually get there through any level, and it really doesn't matter like how you get there. And like you got guys overseas in the NBA that all come from all different levels, not just Division I. So I would definitely agree with him that like, yeah, Division I isn't the only way to play college basketball.
Yeah. You've had some Division I guys come down and play at you play against them like bounce backs, right? Yeah, like all the time at Northwest Naz. And I think a couple of the guys in your team are D1 transfers, aren't they? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great.
So Easton, when you were going through this process, how did you manage communication with college coaches, whether it was emails, texts, phone calls, DMs? How are you able to manage that process?
Yeah, something that I stuck with me was some good advice was just to like respond to everyone, no matter what. Like, I mean, anybody can be a resource for you, and that you should use everybody to the best of your ability. And so something I did was just, even if it was just something small, like just respond to everyone, show everyone that you're attentive and willing to learn about where they're at or who they are. And that's just something that stuck out to me when I was going through the recruiting process. It was like, oh, like this coach is all the way across the country. Like it doesn't matter. Like he could be closer to you when a job the year later, or even down the road in a couple of years. So that's just something that really stood out to me.
That's good advice. Jack, same for you. How did you handle communicating with coaches?
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off that, I respond to them all. Like you said, I mean, you never know what a coach can come, like they could come and watch you at a game if you respond. And I mean, you could be helping other people get recruited too. Like if you decide not to go to a place that's recruiting you, they come watch your game. They may like one of your teammates, like you could be helping them get recruited just by responding and having them come out to watch you. Like, I mean, it's that networking part of it that if you respond to everybody, you have a much higher chance than if you narrow it down right away.
Great advice.
Yeah. It is. It is. So, Issa, I'm going to go back to you, and we're going to kind of talk about, working with the recruiting service, with us. How did working with our recruiting team change or improve your overall experience?
No, it definitely helped improve. You were a college coach at D3, and your connections are way better than any player would have. And like you can get guys to come watch us play and watch all our teams play, and that was just something that was definitely really helpful. And just obviously like being able to text you 24/7. I know that you're gonna respond and that you're gonna help me get where I need to be. And that was just something that was really amazing to have, and that you were always gonna do it for not for yourself but for all of us. And that's just very powerful.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Jack, how about you?
I'd say, I mean, without it, I don't know if I'd be playing college basketball. I mean, it's the email blasts and all that, just trying to get in connection with coaches to come out and just put myself on the map as much as I possibly could. I mean, with Coach Bright, I mean, I don't know if I would be playing college basketball right now, just because of how hard it is for people to get a look at you and to get your name out there as a under-recruited player. I mean, at the time, going into my junior year of high school, I had not talked to a college coach. I've gone to camps, and I mean, I hadn't talked to him. We were kind of like in a place where we knew that the skill could be there, but we didn't know how to get in connection, which was the hard part. And Coach Bright really helped us in numerous amount of ways, getting in contact with coaches through people he already knew and the connections he's already built. And the way and it ultimately ended up working, like just finding coaches, looking for places that met the standards of the recruit, and then just chipping away, getting to know as many coaches as you could. And I mean, I wouldn't be able to go out and meet these people, meet Coach Delp without the help of Coach Bright. So I really appreciate that.
Great.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to stay with you then. So what part of the things that we did, whether it was the evaluation, targeting schools, working on your communication, just being there, because I came out, watched play, sat there with your dad, your grandpa, coaching legend in Chicago. Like we talked a lot of hoops up there in the stands.
Yeah.
What do you think helped you out of all those things that we were able to do for you? Which one do you think made the biggest impact?
I would say either the evaluation and the communication, because the evaluation would allow me to have an outside source come and watch who really had it. I mean, I don't think before the evaluation you'd watch me actually play in person. I think
Not
that
a
might
whole
have been the
game.
first time. Yeah.
No, not a whole game.
Yeah, being able to go through that and have feedback from an external source was really helpful. And I feel like someone that can just give you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, is someone that you need to have in your corner all the time. And that really helped. And then as far as the communications go, I'd say, like I said, sending emails out to coaches and narrowing it down to those schools to where we'd send emails back and forth, get in contact. The communication aspect of it was huge because that allowed me to first start getting in contact with those coaches, like with Coach Delvin, with other coaches near me. So they'd come out and watch me play once we started emailing them for the first time, and ultimately led to where we are now. So
Good. Easton, same thing. I know Coach Schaaf is very critical in his evaluations, as am I. Jack knows. But the evaluations, targeting schools, communicate, like which of those stood out for you, Easton, working with Coach Schaaf?
Yeah, I kind of was the same as Jack. The evaluation was definitely something that was very critical. Schaaf was a college coach, so he knew what it took, and he was able to like really break down my game and find my strengths and weaknesses and kind of really build on those. But also the communication style, he taught me kind of like to ask a lot of questions and kind of like research what your schools you were talking to, and that kind of definitely helped my communication style. Like when I got on those visits and got in person with those coaches. So that all comes down to like the service and just being able to improve our understanding of how to get to the next level. That's something that people should look out for.
Issa, I'm going to stay with you. What advice would you give a high school player or even a transfer for that matter about working with the recruiting advisor like Net Results? If they're just kind of like not sure I should do that or not, what advice would you give them about utilizing Net Results and a recruiting advisor like us, like in this recruiting landscape especially? Because it's changed a little bit since you were coming out of high school.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say, like, if you're not getting, 20 plus coaches coming to you, like, I feel like you gotta find some help, and especially like high schoolers nowadays, like with the transfer portal, it's really hard. So I'd say kind of more towards high schoolers, like, just there's no wrongdoing and there's no penalty to having a recruiting advisor. Like, it's only gonna help you and get you where you need to be. It's not like it's a bad thing that you have one, and not people aren't gonna like look at you funny. It's like you're trying to achieve your goals, you're trying to get where you're going to go. So just use your resources to the best of your ability.
Yeah. And I want to go back on one thing with Easton real quick. So when Easton was making his decision, he had a few Division II schools that he was kind of narrowing it down to. And I mean, he broke Coach Rooney's heart at Menlo. I know he did, and he didn't go there. But Easton, when you made your decision, we talked about this. Obviously, you make your first phone call, right? And that's where you're going to commit. And then what did you do after that? Did you go blast it on social media, or did you tell the other coaches what you were doing? And how did you communicate that? Did you email them? Did you text them? Did you pick up the phone?
Oh, the first thing I did directly after I called the coaches here was I called, the two coaches that I wasn't going to go there. They were kind of like in my top three, I would say.
Yeah.
Called them on the phone, told them straight up, really just was transparent, and thanked them for all that they did and all the resources they spent on me. And that I did all that before I posted on social media where I was going.
Yep. And to this day, and I still talk to those two coaches that he said no to, they have nothing but phenomenal things to say about Easton. They ask me about him. How's he doing? They obviously see him play and they see how great he is. And they're kind of, they wish they could have got him, all that stuff. But, he didn't burn a bridge. And that's a big thing that a lot of kids sometimes do, is they don't follow up, and they don't, these coaches find out stuff through social media, and you're just a bad look. But, you did it the right ways, and that's great. That's great. Jack, how about you? What advice would you give somebody that's on the fence about using, a recruiting service or using Coach Bright?
Yeah, I would say that, honestly, think of it like an agent in high school. They're the ones that are behind the scenes doing the communication stuff. So, it makes your life a lot easier, like a lot easier. And for me, I wouldn't have to sit there and worry about what's not going to happen or what I hope happens. It's if I had a question or I was wondering if something was going to happen, just text Coach Bright, and he'd give me a straight up answer. We had a little recruiting profile set up to where I could go and check what coaches message me or what coaches check my profile, all that kind of stuff. So if I had a question, it would pretty much be answered if I texted Coach Bright. So it was super helpful.
Great. Basketball players, are you grinding in the gym but struggling to get noticed by college coaches? Your talent deserves the right exposure, and that's where Net Results Recruiting comes in. Whether you're in high school, junior college, or prep school, we help you connect with college programs, get you promoted to college coaches, and receive expert guidance throughout your recruitment journey. Don't leave your future to chance. Get exposure, get guidance, get results. Let our team find your team. Visit netresultsrecruiting.com today and take the next step towards your college basketball dream.